Sometimes a problem for you guys last year. The fourth quarter was obviously terrific for you tonight. Is it nice to start that way with that kind of fourth quarter?
Yeah, definitely. I think our execution, our ability to get stops in the fourth, and just being patient on the offensive end and getting contributions in that fourth quarter from everybody. But again, I think just sticking to game plan execution was big in that fourth.
Hey, JJ, Christian Clark with Null.com. 30 assists for you guys as a team. Brandon had 11 of those. What did you just think about the way he was able to distribute the ball tonight?
Yeah, I think he played a very smart game. He was able to figure out when to pick and choose his spots, recognize when teams were doubling him, recognize when they were doubling him, which they did for the most part on every DHO and pick and roll for most of the game. And then down the stretch, just hitting big shots. He was fantastic tonight.
What's up, JJ? This is Will Gillard from The Athletic. We know you know a little bit about three-point shooting, and there's a lot of talk about this team and how they can space the court, hit enough three-pointers to give your big guys enough space. What was it like to see those shots go down in this first game and see the offense flowing the way it did?
It was great. I do think we have a number of guys that are capable of shooting the basketball. Every time Bled made a shot tonight, I kept yelling, "He's a shooter." It's just can't disrespect him. He had 5 threes. And Lonzo was aggressive, hit some big ones. Everybody knows BI can shoot, and we'll get more at times from Josh and Nico and Nikhil from behind the line. But we have a bunch of guys that are capable of doing it.
Hey, JJ, it's Andrew from ESPN. As big as the third and fourth were for you guys, obviously, how big was that second quarter, that late run? You mentioned Bled was hitting a lot of those threes. You were able to hit too late to kind of stabilize you guys going into halftime before coming back out in the third.
Yeah, that was a moment in the game where we could have lost it. We did enough to get back in the game. And then we had a little bit of a sluggish start to start that third. But then that group, we had that long stretch. We had called a timeout. Toronto called a timeout. We had that long stretch in the third where we got back in the game, and then we were able to actually take the lead. And then, we made some subs, and that group just continued that momentum. But, as important as the end of that second quarter was, that run that we made to really close the last 9 minutes of the third was huge.
JJ, Scott Kushner from NOLA.com. After a really hard training camp, an admittedly hard training camp from Stan, to get rewarded for it as quickly as you guys did, not only just being resilient, but playing well, and it looked like a lot of things just kind of came together. Is that meaningful in any way to get rewarded after a really tough camp like that?
It can be important for sure. You want to put in work and then see results. I think that's any human being is like that. I look back at our start last year and how we really never recovered from a really slow start, and this group has to have a better start. And I think tonight was a great first step. I thought a lot about our game last year to start the season against them in Toronto, a very winnable game. We weren't able to execute down the stretch and lost in overtime, and started 1-7 and never recovered. So we want to get off to a great start, and I think the training camp will certainly help us be ready for this start of the season.
Great, thanks, JJ.
All right, thanks.